the commentary that has come, Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, there's been some distortion that I think, even as we all elucidate, we should try to correct. First is the subject of the exchange rate. Yes, there's been an appreciation of the Ghanaian cedi, and nobody can say he's unhappy about that. But what is the cause? Among other things, quite recently, the IMF has quite clearly explained part of what is happening. That the government has dumped about $1.4 billion from our dollar reserves onto the market. If a country has $1.4 billion of dollar reserves to dump onto the market to help its currency appreciate, two questions must be asked. The first, where did those reserves come from? And the second, how sustainable is it? Mr. Speaker, it is a matter of fact that in the 6 months of this administration, it has not generated $1.4 billion in terms of new additions to our gross international reserves. The truth is that at the point of inheriting power, the previous administration had left over $8 billion of international reserves, part of which the new administration is drawn and dumped onto the market. And so, as we discuss the performance of the economy, credit should be given where credit is due. The second part of that argument, Mr. Speaker, is how sustainable is it? How sustainable is it to continuously be dumping $1.4 billion onto the Ghanaian market in a 6-month period? Do we have that kind of reserves? And it therefore calls for some more honest and prudent economic planning beyond an attempt to take fiscal plaudits. Mr. Speaker, the next matter I want to speak to is the subject of fiscal discipline. Sometimes you hear it being bandied about fiscal discipline. Fiscal discipline does not mean a failure to meet your fiscal targets. If you program to raise, for example, $1 billion and spend $800 million and leave a balance of $200 million, you don't fail to raise your billion and just maybe raise about $300 million, spend $100, and say that fiscal discipline, you've still achieved $200 million. No, that's not it. Because there are a lot of public goods and services you have programmed to do with that $800 million. Today, Mr. Speaker, we were here in this chamber when the Minister for Finance represented to us that so much money had been sent to the district assemblies, and that the district assemblies common fund, about 80% allocation is going to the assemblies. All of us here in the chamber know that none of your districts has received that money. None of your districts has received that money. None of your districts has received that money. So if you have not mobilized and spent that money, and you keep touting fiscal discipline, it will come back to haunt you. Mr. Speaker, currently, the government has launched the 1 million coders program, Agric for Economic Transformation known as Feed Ghana, National Apprenticeship Program, and a number of other programs. They even announced recently that they have signed a contract to send over 2,000 Ghanaians to work abroad. We all know that no money has been released for these programs, and so there are no real beneficiaries on the ground. So this argument of fiscal discipline that you want to tout as rhetoric, Mr. Speaker, we encourage our colleagues, is not backed by the numbers. Your numbers have not exactly performed, so you haven't spent. It is now that monies are being mobilized to be released to the ministries, departments, and agencies. And so that cannot be defined as fiscal discipline. The failure to perform on the fiscal program is not fiscal discipline. Mr. Speaker, finally, conversations border around relief in the economy. Yes, it is true that as the city has appreciated, it has translated into a lower cost of various items that are imported. But we've already discussed the sustainability and the why. But even at the same time, you have increased electricity tariffs by 14% earlier, and then another 2.5%, and you are advertising to increase electricity tariffs some more. That is not relief to the Ghanaian consumer. You have increased water tariffs. That is not relief to the Ghanaian consumer. You are beginning to advertise that cocoa prices, and the majority of farmers who are cocoa farmers who benefit from cocoa, and we're hoping they will get some more based on the promises you have made. You are beginning to advertise that you may not be in a position to increase cocoa prices and give them more relief. And so, Mr. Speaker, yes, there have been developments on the Ghanaian economy. We expect that the Minister for Finance will appear shortly to provide some more details. But the reasons that are being given should be reasons that align more with the facts and less with the propaganda.